It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
Here's an interesting one. This one's from James, and he said, here's a question for B&B. I've heard them discuss this whole idea of lump sum versus DCAing.
Dollar cost averaging.
Dollar cost averaging, thank you. He said, with the price to earnings so high, I'm going to say with the market at a really healthy place right now, would you change the value at which you would rather DCA than lump sum? So we used to say, or we've traditionally said that if the amount of money you're talking about is a substantial financial situation, life-changing sum, it often makes sense to DCA. Well, I think his question is, well, if the market's at a high place, if I win $1,000 on a lottery scratcher, should I dollar cost average that in, or does the amount change given where the market is, or should my strategy not change irrespective of where the market is?
You kind of, and you're probably putting out some breadcrumbs for me, is that, look, price earnings ratios definitely they're part of the ingredients that go into your decision making, but Bo just laid out what the actual answer is. It's really on your specific situation. There's so many variables that come into whether this is a lump sum or dollar cost averaging opportunity. For most people, if it's just a small sum of money to you materially, you should just put it in. Because realize markets make money 80% of the time. Statistically, it's going to work out best to put that money to work. What you're really more worried about is this is once in a lifetime sum of money that you would like to maybe mitigate the risk that you put the money to work and then 2 months later, all heck is broken loose and you've lost 25 to 35% of your investment. That would be pretty catastrophic on a large material sum of money. And we've done the historical research that shows really you don't want to extend a lump sum dollar cost averaging investment. I just said both words. You don't want a large sum of money when you're trying to ease it into the market. You really don't want to go much longer than 10 months. Sure. I think we talk about doing 10 to 12 on very large sums of money, just to kind of moderate. And it's also important to make those DCA plans somewhat dynamic, especially if you get into bear market territory. And that's what will allow us to kind of get the best of both worlds. Right. And the fact that if you have a dynamic dollar cost averaging plan where if the market went down 20, 25%, and you are starting to watch those price to earnings ratios, you could accelerate some of the future months forward. But I'm thinking I want to keep it high level on decision making. Look, if it's your annual contribution to the Roth and you're in a 6-figure income situation, put the money to work as fast as possible. Don't worry about necessarily getting into the weeds unless just cash flow wise, it's better to do it $500 a month. But I'm thinking for most people, you're doing this only when you're getting into high 6 figures. $1 million. That's what we're primarily doing, dollar cost averaging.
And the reason that we often dollar cost average is so that we can remove the emotion from the equation. So a lot of times for clients who I know that are super finicky with markets, while we still have that dynamic conversation, I like talking about, hey, look, on this day of the month, this amount of money is going in. We're going to buy into the diversified portfolio. So that way they don't have to think about it. They don't have to get, the market's down today. Should we buy it? Should we buy today? Or the market's up today. Should we wait till tomorrow? Don't overcomplicate it. I've seen some folks who said, I really love this idea of dollar cost averaging. I'm going to start doing it every single week. And then it's like, I'm going to do it every Monday and every Friday. And then you're just like, hey, let's get the money to work. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't freak yourself out over it. But understand, if you are someone that's emotional, figure out ways to get the emotion away from you. Try to make it systematic so that you can do it consistently through time.
And you just said something that I think that I need to clarify is, look, there is dollar cost averaging just because as you make money, your monthly wages come in. Yeah, I'm a dollar cost averaging personality because as I make money each month, I'm putting money to work. It doesn't matter what the price earnings ratio, it doesn't matter what's going on in the geopolitical world. I am buying every month. I just tell you that's the way it works. What we're primarily talking about when you're comparing lump sum to DCA or dollar cost averaging is when you have the windfall moment. You sell some real estate, you sell a business, something like that where a big chunk of money comes your way. And you're trying to figure out, do I throw it all in at once or do I spread this out just to moderate some of the potential volatility That's what we're primarily talking about. I want you to be automated with your monthly investments based upon your wages. This is just some of the techniques you can use when you have those windfall moments and how you can do it efficiently.
Awesome. That was a great question.